Mark Golding just got exposed. Or did he? By the end of this video, you will know if Mark Golding is telling the truth or if the Prime Minister just delivered the political knockout of the year. Mark Golding is in big trouble and Andrew Holness just brought receipts. Alright, let's rewind to the 1990s, back when Jamaica's financial sector had its own version of an economic hurricane. The crisis was so bad, the government had to create the Financial Sector Adjustment Company, FINSAC, to clean up the mess. Businesses collapsed, people lost homes, and banks folded faster than an over-leveraged gambler at a poker table. Fast forward to today, and Andrew Holness is dragging PMP through the mud over it, blaming them for setting back Jamaica's development. And in case you thought this was just another political jab, he's pointing fingers directly at Mark Golding and Peter Bunting and their investment firm DB&G. According to Holness, PNP wasn't just in the mix, they were cashing in. But wait, Mark Golding says, not so fast, Mr. Prime Minister. Do you believe Andrew Holness really has proof against Mark Golding? Or is this just another political chess move? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Who's capping? Who's exposed? Who's winning this battle? At a press conference, Golding wasn't just denying the allegations, he was calling it a whole government scandal. He claims he had zero role in FINSAC, saying he was just an ordinary businessman trying to survive like everyone else.
FINSAC ensured that in a crisis in the financial sector, depositors didn't lose any money, pensioners didn't lose any money, persons who had insurance didn't lose any money. That was the purpose of FINSAC, and yes, it cost the country quite a lot of money, and we took time to work our way out of that. We're now at 68% debt to GDP ratio. That era is long gone. I had no role in FINSAC whatsoever. I was in the private sector there, I was an attorney at law, and I was involved in business as well. So, that was an environment we all had to navigate who were in the sector at that time, and we did it skillfully enough that we never had to ask FINSAC for any support. Thank you.
What has been a real waste of expenditure is over $100 million that the government spent on a commission of inquiry which has not delivered a report. That's a scandal. FINSAC ensured that in a crisis in the financial sector, depositors didn't lose any money. Pensioners didn't lose any money. Persons who had insurance didn't lose any money. That was the purpose of FINSAC, and yes, it cost the country quite a lot of money, and we took time to work our way out of that. We're now at 68%, the debt to GDP ratio. That era is long gone. I had no role in FINSAC whatsoever. I was in the private sector there, I was an attorney at law, and I was involved in business as well.
Mark Golding says he had no role in the FINSAC disaster. Andrew Holness says he has proof that Golding and DB&G benefited. Who do you believe? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Now enter Abka Fitz-Henley, who isn't buying that for a second. The JLP senator is basically calling Golding's bluff, saying there's public record proof that DB&G received payments during the FINSAC era. He's essentially telling Jamaicans, Mark Golding, ordinary businessman, yeah, and I'm the King of England. And if that wasn't enough, Fitz-Henley didn't stop there. He's now linking Golding's economic plans for Jamaica to another financial disaster, warning that PMP's 5-year promises could cause a new FINSAC-style meltdown.
Deals were entered into which the anti-corruption agency of the day described as irregular and highly improper, and arising from those deals, public funds, millions of US dollars, millions of Jamaican taxpayer money were shelled out and used to line the pockets of a company owned by Peter Bunting and Mark Golding, two men who now aspire to lead Jamaica. The Gleaner says these developments occurred occurred after a hectic year for DB&G, which saw Peter Bunting and attorney Mark Golding playing a prominent part in the company's operation. In one such payment, PNP administration via the Finance Ministry had an obligation to pay during Bunting and Golding over $29.5 million. FINSAC paid approximately $10 million to Bunting and Golding's company, and the Debt Management Department of the Ministry of Finance paid the balance of $20 million. In another instance, the Financial Gleaner of December 5, 1997 tells us that Bunting and Golding's entity abandoned plans for a merger and took full control of Billy Craig Bertrand Bank, which is badly affected by the PNP policies of the 1990s. And guess what happened after Senator Seeker, right? FINSAC, which was set up by Golding's political allies, pumped $85 million of taxpayers' money into the bank, which was taken over by Bunting and Golding's company. He said he came into the PNP via Dr. Omar Davies, where he gave advice regarding the financial sector. Of course, Dr. Davies was the finance minister in the 1990s, during the meltdown of the financial sector. I put it to you, sir, that it is highly improbable that the opposition leader was not consulted on those issues of the day. And therefore, I submit to the Parliament of Jamaica and the people of Jamaica that when the opposition leader says he had nothing to do with the FINSAC, no part to play, he should not be believed. In fact, the public record suggests he did not speak the truth. What I just alluded to are two pieces of evidence which confirm that the opposition leader's claim that he had nothing to do with the FINSAC is false. Indeed, he misled the people of Jamaica. His latest comment is confirmation that he cannot be trusted to be honest with the Jamaican people.
You think it stops here? Nope, because just when you thought the political grenade had landed, Dayton Campbell jumps into the brawl. At a PNP meeting, Campbell flips the script, asking why the media isn't grilling Andrew Holness on something even more scandalous: the lack of certification of his statutory declarations.
I'm wondering if Nationwide would ask the Prime Minister how is it that he can explain how other people got riches, but he's unable to explain his own riches according to the Integrity Commission.
Basically, the PNP's saying, Holness, before you chat about FINSAC, let's talk about your financials. Oh, and just for added spice, Fitz-Henley also dragged in Golding and Julian Robinson's dual citizenship controversy from last year. Because why settle at one political scandal when you can have three?
Originally, the two men them from the UK, them give the impression that them are going to implement all these things in a 1 year. Because them say it's a budget debate, and them a debate the 2025-2026 budget. But when the Member of Parliament for Eastern St. Andrew and the first female finance minister back them up into a corner, I hear the man from the UK who say him had to agonize about whether him choose Jamaica. Him stand up and him start stutter. And him say, boy, they were hoping to put in place these measures over 5 years. They cannot be trusted to lead Jamaica.
So here we are, JLP versus PNP, Golding versus Holness, Fitz-Henley versus Campbell. Holness and Fitz-Henley are hammering PNP, painting them as untrustworthy economic saboteurs. Meanwhile, Golding and Campbell are throwing counterpunches, accusing the JLP of covering up their own mess. At the end of the day, who's telling the truth? Did Golding and DB&G really profit from FINSAC? Or is this just another round of political spin in Jamaica's never-ending soap opera? One thing's for sure and two things are for certain. This battle is far from over. And in politics, the truth isn't always black and white. It's whatever sells the best headline. So what do you think? Was Golding really just an ordinary businessman, or is Fitz-Henley onto something? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, if you love the drama, the debates, and the political tea, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this saga, and it's just getting started. Here's a summary of the highlights and the key points. Andrew Holness blames PNP for Jamaica's 1990s economic meltdown, pointing fingers at Golding and DB&G. Golding denies involvement, calls the FINSAC issue a government scandal. Abka Fitz-Henley refutes Golding's claim, saying public records show DB&G benefited. Fitz-Henley warns PNP's 5-year economic plan could cause another financial collapse. Dayton Campbell hits back, shifting focus to Holness's financial declarations scandal. Political battle intensifies, with Fitz-Henley bringing up Golding's and Julian Robinson's dual citizenship controversy. Who's telling the truth? The political debate rages on. The reason why a lot of people, including myself, would say isn't the FINSAC situation is like beating a dead horse, isn't that outdated? How much time them are gonna bring it up? The reason why the FINSAC debacle is so relevant now is because you have Mark Golding and Peter Bunting, who their company, Daring Bunting and Golding, benefited directly from FINSAC bailout. That's why you see the JLP them hammer this FINSAC. And if you notice, their timing is very strategic, because just now them drop the name and the receipts, say yes, Mark Golding and Peter Bunting, then just start call name. Months now me I say JLP need to start call name, even though we know say a Bunting and Golding will not talk about call name, but it's their strategy in the long game, so they start call name now. You see me? Yeah man, a political chess. Cause remember at first, PM Holness did say, we not go allow no FINSAC beneficiaries to come run Jamaica and mash it up. Yes, we all know who Holness did attack, but them still never did a call name months ago. So now, the name them and the receipts are here. Say yes, uno did benefit. And uno did a say, uno no benefit. So, here's the proof. Cool. Now when Dr. Dayton Campbell say, to Nationwide reporter say, why uno no go ask Andrew Holness about him statutory declarations where the IC no approve up to now? The reason why he state that to that specific Nationwide reporter is because the PMP has always accused Nationwide of being leaning or supporting the JLP. Now I could put it into full context. Everybody and them mother and their friend and them brethren know say Abka Fitz-Henley used to work for Nationwide. Every morning you used to hear Abka Fitz-Henley on Nationwide. When him left Nationwide, him go straight in a politics into the JLP as a JLP senator. It's like he resigned this morning and tomorrow morning him a JLP senator. Hence, the PMP are gonna say, well, Cliff Hughes did a Abka Fitz-Henley boss, and based on how Nationwide report the news against the PNP, it would seem or stand to reason that obviously Nationwide leans towards the JLP with a bias, and that is understandable, and that is not far-fetched for the PNP has said that about Nationwide. So the passive aggressiveness from Dayton Campbell to that Nationwide reporter, that's where it come from. You get me? Yo, yeah, me like the politics. Yes, yeah. So on one side we have the PMP say Holness statutory declaration still not certified by the IC. Hence you see Dayton Campbell say before Holness go ask nobody about how they get them wealth, why you can't prove to the Integrity Commission how you acquire your wealth. You see me? And Golding is also arguing that the JLP did a FINSAC inquiry and spent over $100 million that did not deliver a report. So what was the purpose of that inquiry then. If you spend over 100 mil. On the JLP side, they must say Mark Golding and Bunting benefited from FINSAC bailouts. So if you add up the two bailouts, Zane, DB&G receive like 30 million US based off of where Abka just stated, and DB&G went on to acquire another financial institution and received another like what 85 million US for the company where they acquire for that financial institution. So on both sides, it was them a scream corruption at each other. I guess one could argue and safely say both parties are equally corrupted, and whatever them are accuse each other of, both of them are guilty of said corruption. So it's an interesting game where both parties love to play, and I understand it. That's why me no follow up either party when they start with a back and forth there. Yes, me no follow them up because me see the game where two of them love play. I wanna know already, I am very neutral, me no pick no side. I am not anti-JLP nor am I pro-JLP, and me no anti-PNP and I am not pro-PNP. I am very pro-Jamaica. Jamaica first over party colors. So you know that are my stance. That not change. See you in the next one. One love, Jamaica.